In the heart of a small industrial town nestled in Yorkshire's rolling landscape, Emma Thompson stood by the kitchen window, her weary eyes fixed on the rain-streaked glass. The clock read 5:30 a.m., and the world outside was still dark and cold. At 28, Emma carried the weight of responsibilities that seemed to crush her spirit with each passing day. Jack, her 5-year-old son, lay sleeping in the tiny bedroom, his blonde hair tousled against the worn blue pillowcase. Emma's fingers traced the faded photograph of her late husband, Robert, who had passed away 2 years earlier in a factory accident. The memory of that day still haunted her, a constant reminder of how quickly life could change. The tiny apartment was a testament to their struggle. Peeling wallpaper, a creaky radiator that barely pushed out warmth, and furniture collected from second-hand shops told a story of survival. Emma worked 2 jobs, cleaning offices during the day and waiting tables at night. Yet money always seemed to slip through her fingers like water. Today was different. The electricity bill sat on the kitchen table, a red-stamped reminder of their mounting financial challenges. Emma's hands trembled as she calculated their remaining funds. £37.16, not nearly enough to cover the bill and buy groceries for the week. She remembered her mother's words. "You're stronger than you know, Emma." As dawn broke, Emma began her daily ritual. She prepared Jack's lunch, carefully spreading jam on bread, making sure every slice was cut perfectly. Her son deserved the best, even when the best was just a carefully made sandwich and a mother's love. The morning rush was a delicate dance of precision. Jack's school uniform, slightly worn but clean, was laid out. Breakfast was simple, porridge, with a sprinkle of sugar, a luxury they rarely afforded. Emma watched her son eat, her heart both heavy with worry and warm with love. "Mummy, will you pick me up from school today?" Jack asked, his blue eyes hopeful. Emma's heart sank. She knew she'd be working her cleaning shift, then rushing to the restaurant for the evening service. "Mrs. Henderson will pick you up, sweetheart," she said, forcing a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. The walk to the school was their special time. Emma held Jack's small hand, listening to his chatter about dinosaurs and his best friend Tom. Each step was a reminder of her promise, to give Jack a better life, to rise above their current circumstances. At the school gates, Emma knelt down, straightening Jack's collar. "Be good, my love. I'll see you tomorrow morning," she whispered, kissing his forehead. The goodbye was always the hardest part. Her first job began immediately after. The cleaning company was ruthless, paying minimum wage for back-breaking work. Emma scrubbed office floors, emptied trash bins and cleaned windows, her mind constantly calculating their next move. Each room she cleaned was a small battle in her larger war against poverty. Lunch was a luxury she couldn't afford. A cup of cheap tea and a half-eaten sandwich from the staff room was her only sustenance. Her body ached, but she pushed forward. Jack needed her. Their future depended on her strength. The evening shift at the local restaurant was equally challenging. Balancing trays, dealing with difficult customers, and maintaining a cheerful demeanor required every ounce of her energy. Tips were sparse, but every penny counted. As midnight approached, Emma would drag herself home. The apartment was cold and silent. She'd check on Jack, tucking his blanket closer, watching his peaceful sleep. In those quiet moments, hope would flicker, a tiny flame of possibility. Her dreams were simple: a stable job, a warm home, opportunities for Jack. Education was her beacon of hope. She had heard about free evening classes at the local community college. Nursing was a profession that promised stability, a chance to build a real future. Tomorrow would be another day of struggle, another day of fighting invisible battles, another day of proving that the rain fell heavily that Tuesday evening, matching the rhythm of Emma's uncertain heartbeat. She clutched a crumpled flyer about free evening classes at the local community college, her fingers tracing the words "nursing" program repeatedly. Mrs. Henderson, Jack's kind neighbor, had agreed to watch her son, a rare blessing that felt like a small miracle. Emma stared at her reflection in the hallway mirror. Her work uniform was wrinkled, her hair pulled back in a tired ponytail. Years of struggle had etched lines around her eyes, but a newfound determination sparkled beneath her weary gaze. The community college looked intimidating. Bright young students moved confidently around the building, their backpacks filled with hope and possibility. Emma felt like an outsider, a feeling that had haunted her since Robert's death. She was older than most students, with responsibilities. That far exceeded a typical college hopeful. At the registration desk, a kind-looking woman named Margaret, no relation to her mother, helped her complete the forms. Her hands shook slightly as she filled out each section. When she reached the emergency contact section, she paused. For the first time since Robert's death, she wrote her mother's name with a sense of potential, not just survival. The classroom was a mix of different ages and backgrounds. Some students looked fresh out of high school, while others were returning to education like Emma. An older gentleman in the front row caught her eye and smiled encouragingly. A young woman with 2 children's drawings pinned to her notebook gave her a knowing nod. Their first lecture was about basic medical procedures. Emma listened intently, her mind racing with possibilities. Each word from the instructor felt like a key unlocking a door she'd never thought possible. Nursing wasn't just a job, it was a calling to help people, to make a difference. During the break, Robert, a fellow mature student, approached her. "First time back in school?" he asked, offering her a cup of coffee. His kindness was unexpected, a warmth that melted her initial nervousness. "Is it that obvious?" Emma laughed, a sound she'd almost forgotten she could produce. Their conversation revealed similar stories. Robert was a single father, struggling to create a better life for his daughter. They shared experiences of juggling work, childcare, and dreams, understanding each other without lengthy explanations. The evening's most challenging moment came when they discussed course commitments. For assignments, study groups, practical hours, it seemed impossible alongside her current work schedule. Emma's heart sank momentarily, the weight of reality pressing down on her hopes. But something inside her refused to give up. She thought of Jack, of the tiny apartment, of the endless cycle of minimum wage jobs. This was her chance, perhaps her only chance, to break free. Walking home that night, the rain had stopped. Streetlights illuminated puddles that reflected a sky full of stars. Emma felt different, not completely confident, but no longer completely defeated. Her mobile phone buzzed, a message from Mrs. Henderson. "Jack's asleep. Everything's fine. How was your first class?" Tears welled in Emma's eyes. Not tears of exhaustion or worry, but something entirely new. Hope. Pure, fragile, but incredibly powerful hope. When she reached home, she found Jack's drawing on the kitchen table, a stick figure with a nurse's cap, clearly meant to represent Hersens. He had drawn her with a big smile, surrounded by hearts. Emma realized her journey wasn't just about her. It was about showing Jack that dreams could become reality. That hard work, persistence, and belief could transform lives. She placed the nursing program schedule on the wall, right next to Jack's drawing, a visual reminder of the path she was choosing. Her mother had always said she was capable of more. And now finally, Emma believed it too. The night was quiet, but something had changed. A glimmer of hope had entered their small apartment, promising something more. Something better. A future where Emma wasn't just surviving, but truly living. Winter arrived with a bitter coldness that seemed to match the challenges mounting in Emma's life. The nursing course grew more demanding, and her carefully balanced world began to wobble precariously. Her landlord, Mr. Peterson, had served an eviction notice. 3 months of partial rent payments had pushed him to his limit. Jack's school shoes had developed a hole, and the car made a terrible grinding noise every time she started the engine. The study group she'd joined became her lifeline, but even that felt like a delicate thread ready to snap at any moment. Robert, her study partner, noticed her increasing stress. During a late-night study session at the college library, he watched her struggle with medical terminology, her eyes red from exhaustion. "You can't keep going like this," he said quietly, sliding a cup of hot tea towards her. Emma's world was a constant juggling act, cleaning jobs in the morning, college lectures. In the evening, late-night studying after Jack was asleep. Some nights, she would fall asleep with textbooks scattered around her, medical diagrams blurring into dreams of impossible hospital corridors. The car broke down on the coldest day of the year, right in the middle of a busy intersection, with Jack in the back seat and her nursing textbooks scattered across the passenger seat. Horns blared, people shouted, and Emma felt the weight of the world crushing her shoulders. "We'll be okay," she whispered to Jack, but her voice cracked. They walked 3 miles in the freezing cold, Jack's small hand in hers, his school bag heavy on his back. Her mother, Margaret, met them halfway, her weathered face etched with concern. "Can't do this," Emma confessed that evening, sitting in her mother's warm kitchen. "It's too much. The course, the jobs, Jack, the bills, everything's falling apart." Her mother's hands, rough from years of factory work, covered Emma's. "You're stronger than you think," she said. The same words she'd been telling Emma since childhood. The community began to notice Emma's struggle. Mrs. Henderson started watching Jack more often, refusing payment. The local church offered a small scholarship to help with her course materials. Robert and other study group members began sharing resources, creating a network of support. One particularly challenging week, Emma received a warning from her cleaning job. Her exhaustion was affecting her work, and they were considering letting her go. The restaurant shifts were becoming harder to manage with her college schedule. Jack's teacher called her in for a meeting. Emma's heart raced, expecting bad news. Instead, the teacher spoke about Jack's resilience, how he spoke about his mother's dreams of becoming a nurse with incredible pride. "He draws pictures of you in a nurse's uniform," the teacher said, showing Emma a beautiful crayon drawing. "He tells everyone his mum is going to help people." The drawing became Emma's most treasured possession. On her worst days, she would look at it and find strength. Her study group became more than classmates. They became a family. They created a shared childcare system, took turns helping each other with assignments, and provided emotional support. Robert often brought extra sandwiches for Emma, understanding the financial strain she was under. The turning point came during a particularly difficult practical nursing session. Emma was struggling with a complex medical procedure, her hands shaking. The instructor, Ms. Thompson, watched her carefully. "Take a breath," she said quietly. "You're not alone in this." Those simple words changed everything. Emma realized her struggle wasn't a weakness, but a testament to her strength. Every challenge was a step towards her dream, not a roadblock. Christmas approached. Things weren't perfect. The threat of eviction still loomed. The car remained broken. Her work shifts were unpredictable. But something had changed in Emma. She was no longer just surviving. She was fighting for Jack, for herself, for the future they both deserved. The night before Christmas, Emma looked at Jack sleeping peacefully. Her nursing textbook lay open, a half-completed assignment beside her. Outside, snow began to fall, covering the world in a blanket of quiet. Possibility. Spring arrived with unexpected promises. Emma stared at the envelope from the nursing program, her hands trembling. The official acceptance letter felt like a golden ticket to a world she'd only dreamed about. Jack jumped around the tiny apartment, sensing his mother's excitement. "Did you get it, Mummy?" he shouted, his blonde hair bouncing with each leap. Emma pulled him close, tears mixing with laughter. The local community seemed to breathe life into her dream. Mrs. Henderson organized a small fundraiser at the community center. Local businesses donated items for a raffle. The church group collected money for textbooks. Even Mr. Peterson, her strict landlord, softened when he heard about her nursing journey. Her mother, Margaret, became her biggest supporter. She reduced her own working hours to help with Jack, ensuring Emma could attend additional study sessions. "You're breaking the cycle," Margaret would say, remembering her own struggles as a young mother. The nursing entrance exams were brutal. Emma studied with a determination that surprised even herself. Robert from her study group became her closest ally, sharing notes and supporting her through late-night revision sessions. They understood each other's battle, single parents fighting for a better future. One particularly challenging week, everything seemed to fall apart. The restaurant cut her evening shifts, reducing her income. Jack caught a nasty flu, forcing her to miss critical study time. The washing machine broke, adding another financial burden to her already stretched budget. But something had changed in Emma. Where once she would have crumbled, now she found strength. She negotiated extra cleaning shifts during Jack's school hours. Her study group rallied around her, sharing childcare and study materials. The nursing practical exams tested every ounce of her resilience. Emma's hands, once soft from cleaning work, now moved with surprising confidence during medical procedures. Her instructors noticed her transformation, from a nervous mother trying to survive to a confident woman ready to care for others. Jack became her biggest cheerleader. He would practice bandaging his teddy bear, mimicking the techniques Emma learned. "I'm going to be a nurse like you when I grow up," he would declare, his innocent belief filling Emma's heart with hope. The community watched her journey with growing admiration. Local newspapers picked up her story, a single mother, breaking through barriers, pursuing her dream against impossible odds. Small businesses began offering her support, understanding the power of her determination. Financial challenges remained constant. Emma learned to budget with military precision. Every penny was calculated, every opportunity explored. She found free online resources, negotiated payment plans, and accepted any helping hand offered. Her relationship with Robert grew stronger, not romantically but as true partners in their educational journey. They understood each other's struggles in a way few others could. Sharing childcare, supporting each other through difficult assignments, they created a support system that felt like family. The final nursing practical exam arrived like a moment of truth. Emma stood in the hospital simulation room, her heart racing. Every late night of studying, every sacrificed moment with Jack, every difficult cleaning shift, they all converged in this moment. Her instructor, Ms. Thompson, watched carefully. Emma's hands moved with practiced confidence, her medical knowledge sharp and clear. When she completed the procedure, Ms. Thompson's smile said everything. "You've done more than pass an exam," she told Emma. "You've transformed your entire life." Jack waited outside holding a handmade good luck card. When Emma emerged, he could read her success in her eyes before she spoke a word. They embraced, two souls who had journeyed together through impossible challenges. The local community center planned a small celebration. Local businesses, her study group, her mother, and Mrs. Henderson all gathered. Emma stood there, realizing her journey was about more than just becoming a nurse. It was about showing Jack and herself that dreams are possible. As the sun set on that remarkable day, Emma looked at her son. Jack was drawing a picture, a woman in a nurse's uniform, standing tall and proud. Beside the figure, he had written one word, "Mummy." In that moment, Emma knew everything was possible. 2 years passed like a beautiful dream transforming into reality. Emma walked through the hospital corridors, her blue nursing uniform crisp and professional. The same hands that once scrubbed office floors now saved lives, provided comfort, and brought hope to patients. Jack, now 10, watched his mother with unbridled pride. Every morning he would help her prepare her nursing bag, carefully placing her stethoscope and checking her name badge. "You look amazing, Mummy," he would say, his eyes sparkling with admiration. The local hospital had become more than just a workplace for Emma. It was a testament to her journey. Nurses and doctors who knew her story treated her with respect and admiration. Her determination had become a legend among the hospital staff. Her first official shift as a qualified nurse was both terrifying and exhilarating. Mrs. Peterson, an elderly patient, recognized her immediately. "Aren't you the lady who everyone said couldn't make it?" she asked with a mischievous smile. Emma laughed, remembering her past struggles. Robert, who had also completed his nursing qualification, worked in the same hospital. Their friendship had become a powerful support system. They would often share lunch breaks, discussing patient care and comparing notes about balancing work and single parenthood. Jack's school celebrated her achievement. The head teacher invited Emma to speak to the students about perseverance. Standing in front of the children, she shared her story, not as a tale of struggle, but as a journey of hope. Her mother, Margaret, could hardly believe the transformation. The daughter who once seemed trapped by circumstances was now a respected healthcare professional. "You've done more than change your life," Margaret would say, tears of pride in her eyes. "You've shown an entire community what's possible." Financial stability finally arrived, but Emma never forgot the challenges of her past. She started a small support group for single parents pursuing education, sharing resources, and providing emotional support. Her experience became a beacon of hope for others facing similar struggles. The local community continued to support her. Mrs. Henderson, now retired, would often babysit Jack, watching with joy as the boy grew into a kind and compassionate young man. The church group that had once helped her now celebrated her success. Emma's shift work was challenging, but she had learned to manage her time perfectly. Mornings with Jack became sacred, preparing breakfast, discussing his school day, sharing dreams. Weekends were their special time filled with adventures and love. Her proudest moment came unexpectedly. A young patient struggling with a difficult diagnosis found comfort in Emma's care. "You're the kind of nurse I want to be when I grow up," the teenager told her. Emma realized her journey was inspiring others. The tiny apartment that once felt like a prison was now a home of hope. Photographs of her nursing graduation, Jack's artwork, and memories of their journey covered the walls. Each picture told a story of resilience and love. Robert met a wonderful woman, and Emma was there to support him, just as he had supported her. Their friendship had become a beautiful example of community and support. Jack considered Robert an honorary uncle, completing their unique family. On her 2-year work anniversary, the hospital organized a small celebration. Colleagues shared stories of her dedication, her kindness, her incredible journey. Emma stood there, overwhelmed by how far she had come. Jack presented her with a special gift, a handmade photo album documenting their journey. From their struggling days to her nursing graduation, every moment was captured. "For the strongest mum in the world," he had written on the first page. As evening fell, Emma sat with Jack, looking through the album. The city lights twinkled outside. Their window, a metaphor for the hope that had guided them. They had transformed their life not through magic, but through love, determination, and unwavering belief. "We did it, Jack," Emma whispered, hugging her son. "No, Mummy," Jack corrected with a smile. "You did it. And you showed me I can do anything too." The room filled with warmth, not just from the heater, but from the incredible love and hope that had carried them through their most challenging journey. Mother's love could move mountains. As Emma finally closed her eyes, the first light of dawn began to peek through the thin curtains. Her last thought was of Jack, her reason for everything.